Hello, Vinay. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
So, uh, can you please introduce yourself, Mr. Vinay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
My name is Vinay. I am
Mm,
from Nizamabad
mm,
and I have 3 years experience in system administration. So coming to my roles and responsibilities, I am the senior system administrator there. So I have a team also, and
okay.
and we used to work as per ticketing tool. On the
Okay.
base, we have a ticketing tool named asset management.
Okay.
So with the help of that, we used to open or close the tickets, and we used to manage networking as well as we used to maintain servers, and we
Mhm.
used to maintain the total assets of our group, I mean organization.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
what kind of ticketing tool you are using in your
Asset management.
organization?
It is powered by ACS company. Asset management tool name
Okay.
is.
Okay.
It is. I mean, it is developed by our organization itself.
Okay. Means it's your own organization tool, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. So, fine. Do you have any idea on Git?
Yes, ma'am. It is a version control tool.
Okay. So,
I mean, we used to developer used to store the code, and
okay.
everything is it is a centralized version control system.
Okay.
So anyone can access from anywhere. I mean, at any location we can access the code, and we can pull or we can clone the code.
Okay. So, what is the difference between git pull and git clone command?
Git pull is to if we don't have any access. I mean, Git pull we used to uh, pull the code from central Git repository to our local
Mhm.
Git, and Git clone is from central repository to our server.
Other server.
I mean
Can you
our
please come again? Can you please tell me the difference in which scenario we are going to use git clone and which scenario we are going to use git pull? Difference between those two commands exactly.
Okay. When we are in local repository, for example, we are creating one repository in local.
Mhm.
So our code is there in Git main branch. I mean, Git central branch. So we will use Git pull at that time.
Okay.
Git clone is when we want to download the code from central repository to our
Mhm.
mission, then we will use git clone. It depends on the uh, I mean, what is the task we are doing.
Okay. I mean, you mean to say like git pull is just fetching updates from central to local and git clone
Yes,
is to copy the complete repository, right?
yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay, fine. So, what is Docker file? Do you have any experience with Docker file?
yes, ma'am. Docker file we will use. It is a plain text which we will use to create the Docker image
Okay.
through some Docker. Some commands will be there for the.
Okay. Could you please explain the instructions which we are going to use in Docker file?
Yeah, ma'am. For example, if we want to run any command, we will use run. We have to create one file, and inside that file, we used to what we want to do the task. If, for example, if you want to create a Docker image, so we will create a file, and inside that file, we will uh, give give commands like if you want Docker. I mean Docker run we will use in capital letters. Uh,
Okay.
uh, Environment env and add command.
Okay.
Mm,
Okay. That's it?
Yeah, ma'am, we have around seven to eight instructions.
Okay.
So I am
So,
at this time I'm not able to collect the
okay,
recollect them.
fine. Fine. So what do you mean by roles in Ansible? Do you have any idea on that? Roles in Ansible?
No, ma'am, I don't have idea.
Okay, fine. So what is the difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment?
Continuous delivery means for suppose uh, in the Git repository, if we if a developer made any changes,
Hmm.
so it will reflect it will reflect on I mean we use Jenkins that continuous delivery and continuous integration.
No, no. My question is continuous delivery and continuous deployment.
Continuous deployment. Okay.
Okay, fine. No problem. So do you have any idea on AWS?
Yes, ma'am.
So what are the subnets in AWS?
Subnets availability zones, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Can you please explain how many types of subnets are there
We
in
have two
AWS?
types of subnets, public and private.
Okay. So what is life cycle in S3 buckets? Life cycle management in S3 bucket?
Uh, life. We have, I mean, we have some classes paired up. According to the classes, we will manage the life cycle.
Okay.
If um, we have standard class,
Mhm.
infrequent and frequently used data. We will maintain there. At certain time, it will automatically get deleted.
Okay. So
For maintaining the data, we will use, I mean, how much time it should be there in the S3 bucket, how much days, like that. Frequent
okay.
and unfrequent data we will use, ma'am.
Okay. So can you please tell me the backup policies in AWS?
Backup.
How do you take backups in AWS?
With EBS, we can take
Okay.
backup.
Okay.
It is like an external volume.
Mhm. Okay. So do you have any idea with Kubernetes?
Yes, ma'am.
So can you please tell me the architecture of Kubernetes?
Yes, ma'am. If a DevOps engineer write I mean, code or manifest, it will say once if he completed the manifest, it sends to cluster. In cluster, we have some multiple uh, roles. After the DevOps engineer sends code to cluster, there is a cube.
Hello.
Um, uh, and there is in front end there is a um, name Cube API server we have in front end.
Okay.
Uh, uh, it is a front end service for cluster. After that, it shares data to Cube scheduler,
Mhm.
and according to the data, Cube scheduler and Cube controller and etcd. These three are the services inside the cluster. They will decide what is the request from how many parts we have to create in nodes.
Okay.
With the help of that, Cube controller will shares data to Cube scheduler. Cube scheduler will share share that to kubectl, madam.
Okay.
After
So
that, kube proxy, and after that,
what is the purpose of
containers.
kube proxy?
It will allocate IP address to pods.
Okay. So suppose in my production environment, my pod is, I'm unable to create the pod. It is still in pending state only. I could not able to create the pod in that. Then how do you resolve this issue?
First, we have
Pod is
to
not coming up in a running state.
describe the pod. I mean, first we have to check the pod whether it is running or not. First, we have to log in into
That's what pod is not running. It is, anyways, it is coming in a pending state only. Pod is not come up with IP addresses and all. It is in a pending state only. So how do you resolve this issue?
we have to check whether the node is in running status or not.
Okay.
And after
So
that, we have to check the IP address.
okay. So means you need to you mean to say that like you need to describe the pod, right?
Yes, ma'am. If you
Okay.
describe the pod, we can know the total pod information.
Okay. Okay. And do you have any idea with daemon sets and deployments? What is the difference between daemon sets and deployments
Uh,
in
daemon
Kubernetes?
daemon sets. It makes sure that each node one pod is to be created.
Okay.
In deployment is I mean default it will have replica sets, and it will have rollback and upgrade service also.
Okay. So if I deploy any application in deployment mode, can I get each pod in each node? Is there any possibility?
Sorry, ma'am, can you repeat the question?
So if I deploy any application in deployment mode,
Hmm.
okay, can I get each pod in each node?
Yes, ma'am.
Then what is the purpose of daemon sets?
In deployment, we will write a service file.
Hmm.
With that service file, how many pods we have to create? That is.
Okay, let's say I have 3 nodes.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm writing deployment file and as well as service file. What
Okay.
I want to deploy some sample application, but I
Okay.
want in each of the node must get one pod compulsory. That is my
Okay.
requirement. In which mode you are going to deploy the application?
In daemon set.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, fine.
in deployment, we can customize the pods. I mean, how many pods we want, like that.
Okay. So fine. And what is the difference between application load balancer and ingress controller in Kubernetes?
Okay. Um, Previously, before ingress controller, Kubernetes used to provide basic load balancer compared to their competitors like VMware. They used to provide a load balancer enterprise version.
Mhm.
So at that time, enterprise version used to provide many features. I mean, different types of load balancers,
Okay.
like Nginx load balancer, ratio-based load balancer, domain-based load balancer, like that. There are many load balancers, ma'am. So for reasons of security, Kubernetes is less comparing to VMware. I mean, enterprise load balancer. So
Mhm.
after that, they have introduced ingress load balancer.
Okay.
So ingress load balancer is the thing. it is a resource. And for example, if you want to create Nginx load balancer, we have to go, we have to create ingress controller for that.
Okay.
So with that, we will use the ingress load balancer.
So fine. And what is the purpose of state file in Terraform?
State file. In state file, there will it presents present cloud architecture information will be present in state file.
Mhm. Okay. How do you secure the state file for accessing unauthorized users?
Okay, we will secure. We will secure state file in S3 buckets. I mean, there are many ways, but we can use that way also, and we can secure the file. With if one person is making any modifications in a repository or any file, the another person will not able to do modification. We will do this with the help of log file.
Okay. Okay, fine. And in Jenkins, what are the, suppose Jenkins server is not coming up. Okay, what are the, how do you resolve this issue if Jenkins server is not coming up due to high burden on the load? I mean, due to heavy load on the Jenkins server, it is unable to coming up. Then how do you resolve this issue?
Jenkins, first we have to check the hardware level. We have to check. What is the problem? It is whether it may be insufficient of RAM or storage or processor, like that. After that, we have to check with the port numbers.
Okay. Fine. Okay, Raman. Fine. Do you have any idea on scripting languages like shell script and Python scripting?
Yeah, ma'am, I have knowledge on shell scripting.
Okay. Fine. So, what is the purpose of shell scripting? Why do we go with this?
We will use this in Terraform and pipeline. Pipeline we will use shell scripting. It is in JSON format.
Okay. Fine. Okay, Vinay. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.